In this WrestleTalk news, a WWE star breaks character at a house show and walks out. WWE producers are extremely overworked, according to a new report. Sasha Banks has been edited out of a new WWE video and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
In a very bizarre video posted to Twitter this morning, WWE star Natalya seemingly no-sold a finish and walked out of a match against Ronda Rousey and SmackDown Women's Champion Liv Morgan during a live event in Sacramento, California. The video shows Natty being hit by Liv's finish, the Oblivion, taking the pin and getting up immediately to shout something to Morgan and rolling out of the ring, no-selling the move and walking to the back. It has real shades of Austin Aries at Bound for Glory against Johnny Impact, which was the last time Aries was seen in an Impact ring. It also follows on from Sasha Banks and Naomi walking out on WWE during an episode of Raw over their creative, which we'll actually have a little bit more on later in this episode. But more importantly, this is very out of character for Natalya, both figuratively and literally, who is seen as a ring leader for WWE's women's division, having been there for so long. There's no word on what happened in the match to cause this no-sell, or if this was just something done to create buzz online, but it has left fans asking a lot of questions. What do you think is going on? Let me know in the comments down below. According to PW Mania, however, as they seemingly are the only ones to have this tweet as far as I can see, Natty responded to the clip saying that she wasn't breaking character, but was actually saying thank you to Liv Morgan. Natty has since deleted the tweet, again according to PW Mania. Stay tuned to WrestleTalk.com for more information as this story happens. It's been a very busy period of news for WWE in the last couple of weeks, with the company's board of directors investigating Vince McMahon over alleged affairs, which only got uglier this past weekend with even more stories coming out, and Vince McMahon stepping down as CEO, so his daughter Stephanie, who herself only left the company a few weeks beforehand, stepping in to take over as interim CEO. The latest allegation from the Wall Street Journal didn't prompt a comment from WWE or a TV appearance from Vince McMahon, which, you know, he did with the last ones. And according to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, McMahon arrived later than usual and did not address or sell the latest Wall Street Journal article about him, and it was described as the elephant in the room that was being ignored. So while it may have sounded like a fairly easy evening for McMahon, Johnson reports this past Friday SmackDown was the Vince McMahon show and 100% his vision in terms of creative. The Backstage producers had a much tougher evening. Producers in WWE, as the job title would suggest, produce backstage segments and matches, i.e. go over the finishes, spots, layouts, and generally make sure that everyone is on the same page. They're also former wrestlers. For example, the current crop of producers includes Jason Jordan, Kenny Dykstra, Molly Holly, Shane Helms, TJ Wilson, and former TNA stars PD Williams and Abyss, among others. According to Johnson, there was a big push to bring in more producers to help with the workload, which had gotten much bigger since WrestleMania, writing that said workload was now insane, especially with the time the company expects of the producers. This led to a couple of hires in Curtis Axel and Ariya Daivari, with Axel even trending on Twitter at one point as he showed up during the brawl between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins in the lead up to Hell in a Cell. It was reported that both were only there on probationary tryouts, with Daivari even working as a wrestler for All Elite Wrestling on AEW Dark during his probationary period with WWE. However, Dave Meltzer reported in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Axel had been brought in full time. But that has now changed, as both Johnson of PW Insider and Sean Ross Sapp over at Fightful Select are reporting that they were not at SmackDown this past Friday. Johnson writes that the term budget cuts has reared its ugly head once again, and the two are no longer being brought in. Fightful add that the original plan was to have Axel and Ariya Daivari on a more permanent basis, but as of right now, WWE is not using them. However, these cutbacks have knock-on effects, not helped by the fact that Jason Jordan, who produced multiple matches and segments on Raw described by Fightful Select as rare these days, was not at SmackDown as he and his wife are expecting a new baby. This meant that there was a lot more work spread out among the other producers, according to Mike Johnson. Fightful Select note that they were pulling double and triple duty in some cases. There's no word on whether Curtis Axel and Daivari will be brought back to help with that workload, or if other names will be brought in on a probationary period, but Johnson reports that producers in WWE are currently extremely overworked. We've got an update on the health of Bryan Danielson coming up, but first, I've got a hot tag to Ollie Davis.
Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor. Manscaped, the world leader on men's grooming tools and hygiene solutions, where you can get 20% off and free international shipping by using our link in the video description below. And now they've got your balls covered, literally, in the softest, most breathable delights. That's right, I'm talking about boxers. Manscaped's new collection of anti-chafing, high-performance boxer briefs come in a variety of colours. Represent your House of Black affiliation with an all-black pack. Notice me, Malachi! Or show your undying love for the best era of NXT with black and gold, with a bunch more options too. The real secret behind these boxers' performance is the jewel pouch. A secret spot for your huevos with perforated performance fabric for extra breathability. Luke and I have been wearing ours for over a month now. Different pairs, not the same pairs. We don't share underwear anymore. And they've instantly become our go-to boxers. So head over to manscaped.com/WTTV today to get 20% off plus free international shipping at checkout. Clicking our link in the description also helps support us here at WrestleTalk too. So help your pair with Manscaped and click the link. It's all about your balls.
Bryan Danielson shocked the wrestling world last year when he let his WWE contract expire following main eventing WrestleMania and jumping ship to All Elite Wrestling in the summer, then having banger matches against the likes of Kenny Omega at Grand Slam, Eddie Kingston on Rampage, and that 1-hour draw against Hangman Adam Page for the AEW World Championship at Winter is Coming. In just a few months, Danielson made us all remember who the American Dragon was and won the WrestleTalk Podcast Wrestler of the Year award after 28 of the 34 voters voted him as #1. However, 2022 has hit a bit of a stumbling block. Despite having another excellent title match with Hangman Page and forming the superb Blackpool Combat Club with Jon Moxley and William Regal, we've not seen Danielson in the ring since May's Double or Nothing, where he took place in the Anarchy in the Arena match against the Jericho Appreciation Society. Just a few days before AEW and New Japan's joint venture Forbidden Door, Danielson announced on TV that he was not medically cleared to wrestle and he wouldn't be taking on his scheduled opponent of Zack Sabre Jr., which instead led to the AEW debut of Claudio Castagnoli. Dave Meltzer in the Wrestling Observer newsletter at the time reported that it was a concussion that Danielson suffered during the Anarchy in the Arena match, and that's what put him on the shelf, though AEW never confirmed this. Tony Khan told the New York Post that Danielson got hurt, but noted that he's much better. Speaking about this on Wrestling Observer Radio last week, Meltzer noted that he was concerned about Danielson being off due to a concussion for so long. He said that when you've had the number of concussions that he's had and he's been out for around 5 weeks, you start worrying at 5 weeks of a concussion that this may be a really bad situation. Meltzer's concerns, of course, stem from Danielson retiring from wrestling back in 2016 while in WWE as a result of several concussion-related injuries. Danielson has spoken at length about how he had several doctors medically clear him, but WWE would not give him the green light to step back in the ring. They changed their minds in 2018, and Danielson began to wrestle again. So a new concussion for Danielson is never good news, and it would appear that TK is not in the frame of mind to bring him back before TK thinks he's ready. Speaking on Sunday night's main event, Meltzer said, "What I can tell you is Bryan is fine, but he's not cleared to wrestle yet, and Tony Khan is not going to rush him back." TK confirmed as much in a New York Post interview, noting that Danielson told him he was okay to wrestle at Forbidden Door, because as we saw with Cody Rhodes at Hell in a Cell, if you ask a wrestler if they can wrestle, they will tell you they can, but one bad day a week out from the show was more than enough for Khan to pull him from Forbidden Door. He told the New York Post, "I immediately was like, you're not wrestling. If you're not feeling great 8 days out, I don't care if you have 7 straight days. I'm shutting you down until further notice. He has scans coming up. I'm like, I don't care what they say." Danielson said in his promo on Dynamite that this was not another retirement scare for him. It would appear that AEW and Tony Khan are just taking their time in bringing him back, which might have been spurred on by the concussion Adam Cole received at Forbidden Door. Thank you for your support on Patreon. He's no jackass, Dano, and Derek, dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge, Alea. Get your own Patreon shoutout over at patreon.com/WrestleTalk. Adam Cole Baby wasn't cleared to wrestle in the weeks leading up to Forbidden Door, with some reports saying that he had a torn labrum, which is why he only appeared on commentary for that month of Dynamite and was never in the ring wrestling. It got to the point where many suspected that, like Danielson, CM Punk, and Kenny Omega, he was just another big name who would be unavailable for the pay-per-view. However, he was then inserted into the fatal 4-way match for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship against Jay White, Kazuchika Okada, and Hangman Adam Page. Sadly, Cole suffered a concussion during the match, match, which rushed the finish. Tony Khan confirmed this during that interview with the New York Post, though he never used the word concussion, but also didn't correct the interviewer using it, and said that Cole's injury now means that he's going to take some more time to make sure he's right and wouldn't want him to wrestle until he's feeling 100%. Having said that, he noted that Cole was feeling 100% before Forbidden Door, and getting that concussion shows how unpredictable these are. With Cole and Danielson on the shelf with concussion-related injuries, and Tony Khan and AEW taking their time with them, it looks like it may be a while before we see both of them back in the ring. Someone else who could be missing for a little bit longer is Sasha Banks, as the mystery of, is she actually released or not, rages on. Raj Giri reported last month that Banks had been released by WWE after she and Naomi had walked out on an episode of Raw, but nothing official was announced. Last week, PW Insider reported that both Banks and Naomi had been removed from internal rosters for WWE, which likely means they had been released, but nothing official has been announced. And Fightful Select noted that they had disappeared from those internal roster reports weeks ago, but added nothing major has changed in terms of whether or not they've actually been released. So yeah, we still don't really know what's going on. However, there is one thing we do know for sure. WWE are very, very petty. Following the pair walking out, WWE edited Banks and Naomi out of the Then Now Forever Together bumper. But eagle-eyed Twitter user at MCAlive01 got in touch with us to point out that WWE's latest YouTube upload of Paige's greatest moments has also been heavily edited. Entry number 5 on the list is Paige's return in 2017 when she was flanked by Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, interrupting a match between Mickie James and Sasha Banks. However, the new edit by WWE completely removes Banks from the shot, zooming in on only James in the middle of the ring. Now, this doesn't mean that Banks is officially released by the company, but this is the sort of thing that WWE do when they're super pissed at someone and don't want anything to do with them. So yeah, maybe don't read too much into this, but man, WWE are very petty.
Roman Reigns isn't working. Now, by that, I don't mean that he literally isn't doing his job, though that could also apply these days, but I mean that the purpose and the goal of the tribal chief isn't being achieved. Now, this marks quite a drastic shift in my own perception of Roman Reigns. I mean, you go back to any podcast, SmackDown review,